on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. We should be live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? How are you all doing today? It's a wonderful day. You know why it's a wonderful day? Because I say it is a wonderful day. And I'm only saying it's a wonderful day for myself. But you can tell yourself it's a wonderful day as well. I can say, I hope you're having a great day or a wonderful day, but it's up to you to decide how you want to feel on any given day, at any given moment. Hey, Queen, how are you doing? The Queen is here. You're good. And Queen, we're going to be discussing a little bit here at the beginning of the show. I'm sure you're probably going to put the topic out there because I'll probably butcher it if you don't. So by the time I get to the topic, then I won't butcher it. But we're going to be discussing here early on at the beginning of the show something that Queen Helen Casey brought up behind the scenes within the Coach Eli private moderator chat. And I have to start off by saying, Queen, I'm actually very proud of you. I'm very proud that you came to this defining moment regarding what you talked about behind the scenes. We'll get to that in a second, but we're going to just wait a little bit here, wait a few minutes for a few others to check on in. Thank you for the topic, Queen. I appreciate that. This is going to be probably only about an hour and 20-minute walk or an hour and a half walk. It's going to be pretty quick. Well, some of you may not think that's quick, but it's still a long stream. But it's not going to be as long as my recent streams, like almost 2 hours, because, oh, that sounds like a fire alarm at one of the apartment buildings. All these new apartment buildings have the latest and greatest fire alarm systems, and they can be triggered by one of many reasons: an actual fire or a test, or somebody pulled a lever by mistake. Wow. I think it's that apartment complex right over there. You can probably hear that. It's a nice day. It's about 65 degrees. That's what the outside temperature gauge told me in my car before I stepped out. So my jacket is off. I'm wearing short sleeves. And there's like no wind. Maybe like 1 mile per hour. No wind. Wow, the weather changes so quickly out here. But yeah, I'm going to be going through this pretty quickly because I'm going out of town for the night with the woman I've been hanging with, and she's probably listening right now. I think she's driving on her way to have lunch with her mother. Ma'am, I hope you and your mother have a fantastic lunch. Say hello. And I look forward to later tonight. And we're going to spend most of the day tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Breaking the monotony a little bit from working, as we both have been doing. I can definitely feel the sun hitting me. And with no wind, it feels hotter than 65. Okay, so I can even see the fire alarms blinking. So it is a fire alarm going off, and I think the fire department has to actually come show up to turn it off. So that fire alarm may be going off for quite some time until the Redwood City Fire Department shows up to reset it. I hope there isn't actually a fire over there. I don't see any smoke, so it's just annoying. It's just annoying for those people that live in that apartment complex over there. Oh my gosh, if you're inside, it's just so loud. But anyway, so let's discuss, before we get to the topic here, Queen. I don't see fire alarms blinking. Well, it's hard to see it from the live stream in the iPhone because I can't zoom in, but my naked eye saw it blinking. If you look closely on the replay in landscape mode, you may be able to see it, but it's not that big of a deal. The perspective of the front-facing camera and not being able to zoom in on these live streams is going to show it at a greater distance than I actually see it. So, but yeah, Queen, you mentioned something at the or in the Coach Eli private moderator chat, and it made me proud. You said that you're looking to branch out. And if you want to tell me a little bit more, when you say you're looking to branch out, be a little more specific. You're looking to take your content to the next level, I'm assuming. Let me know if that's the case. And if so, after all this time, I've known you for well over 2 years now, probably 2.5 years. After all this time, what made you decide to do that? What triggered you? And when I say trigger, Queen, I don't mean that in the bad way. Folks, there are good triggers and bad triggers, right? So, when someone gets triggered in a positive way, that's not the negative meaning of being triggered. I guess the word triggered has a negative connotation. But in a positive way, Queen, what triggered you to want to branch out? I'm assuming with your content. So now I hear the fire trucks coming. I wonder if it's a fire, if somebody is having some health issues. But I do hear sirens. But I don't hear the sirens coming this way. Who knows? There could be a grease fire in one of those apartments. A lot of these apartments here in Redwood City are 3 and 4 stories or more. And if you have a fire like on the 2nd floor or something like that, or even on the bottom floor, it's not gonna come through the roof because you have other apartments above you. Wow. I hope everyone is okay. But yeah, Queen, what triggered you to want to expand? Because that actually makes me thrilled. When I hear that people want to expand what they're doing and put themselves out there more, it puts a big smile on my face because it means you're no longer limiting yourself. And that's something that I know you and I have talked about for a while. You've got a lot of great content. It is pretty controversial for the most part. Some of it can be conspiracy theories, but you have a say, Queen. You have opinions and other things that people are afraid to share. And I think diversifying your content is a great thing. Queen says, I don't want to be stuck on YouTube for the rest of my life. Plus, there are things I want to talk about I can't say on YouTube. Well, that is true. To a certain extent. It's true. My opinion about YouTube is you can pretty much talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's just how you talk about it. It's how you present your materials, typically facts versus opinions. And there's a big, big, big difference between an opinion and a fact. But a lot of people like yourself, believe that certain things that others may consider an opinion are a fact. So if that's how you want to present your material as factual, when maybe many others consider it an opinion, or even YouTube would consider it an opinion, and in that case might tag it as misinformation, right? Yeah, you're going to have to put that content elsewhere. A platform that may be good for you, Queen, would be BitChute. BitChute's pretty, I don't know if I should say the word liberal. They're pretty liberal regarding what you can put out there, but I don't mean liberal in the sense of liberal content. I mean it in the sense of you can pretty much put whatever you want out there, and it's much more difficult to be removed from that platform. I read somewhere on Telegram today that the person is calling for more censorship. Well, who's calling for more censorship on the Telegram platform? Well, here's the thing, Queen. A lot of these platforms, especially YouTube, that has to take care of their sponsors. They have to cater the platform more to what the sponsors want, because without the sponsors, there's no platform. There's no money to keep running it, right? So a lot of these platforms, after a while, let's say they're ad-free and totally free for the end user to use for a while. And then they start to change the rules because somebody's trying to fund them, or they're trying to put ads on there, right? Any platform, once it grows a certain level, is not going to be sustainable unless there's some revenue coming in. And typically the revenue is going to come in by way of ads. And in that case, it's up to the people that create the ads, the advertisers, right? The sponsors, to decide where they want their content at and where they don't, right? And that's the game you play, not only when you're, creating content for the digital world, the online world, social media, but also in the mainstream media. Certain sponsors will only sponsor certain type of content. Some people may sponsor content more left-leaning, some may sponsor it more right-leaning. That's why there's Fox News, which leans more to the right, and then there's CNN, which leans more to the left, right? But without those sponsors, they wouldn't survive. There'd be no money coming in. Can't pay the employees, pay the utility bills, electricity, all the fancy equipment, right? It all has to get paid in some way, shape, or form. So I think at some point, Queen, regardless of the platform you go to, there are always going to be some restrictions because of the reasons I just mentioned. Not necessarily the reasons of that platform's community guidelines. It's all about the sponsors. And if the sponsors aren't, sponsoring these platforms and paying their bills and making them money, we wouldn't be able to come and create this content for free. But you let me know. Censorship is getting worse. And you said you forgot who it was that said it. Okay. Well, yeah, it may appear that censorship is getting worse. That's because a lot more of these platforms are trying to monetize their platforms so they can keep them running, right? And it appears that way, and to a certain extent, again, Queen, I understand where you're coming from, and you're right. But it's not for the reasons that most people think. It's not even about the platform not wanting that content on there. It's about the sponsors that pay their bills, that keep their doors open, right? Keep the servers going, right? I'm just trying to be honest, right? Now, I never have had a problem with being removed from platforms because I create my content in a way where I will more so share opinions than facts. Now, there are some facts I do share, but those facts have been verified by sources that these platforms, including YouTube, consider trusted, resources. Or they call them authoritative figures out here on YouTube, Queen. Authoritative figures. Now I remember it was the Pope is calling for more censorship for the big tech giants. Censorship in the way that they've been handling it, so censoring more of the content they're already censoring, or allowing more of it. There's always going to be this game, Queen, of control. Everybody wants to control everything, right? I've just learned to understand and accept it as it is what it is. And I've learned to play by the rules. And quite frankly, for me, despite the rules, like I've said in the past, I'll say this again, despite the rules, my content is just about helping people in a positive way and uplifting them. That's why last week when I got that community guideline warning, it was my first community guideline warning / strike in the history of me being on YouTube. Never had one, right? And they made a mistake. It was, I guess it was artificial intelligence or something else happened, right? And I submitted an appeal and told them, check out my track record of my channel. It's clean. You know, all my videos are monetized. I am a coach that's here to uplift people and protect people. They said I was cyberbullying and harassing. I was cyberbullying and harassment. I'm like, I wasn't even talking about anyone. I was talking about topics in general. So how could it be cyberbullying and harassment? I mean, it might have been a possibility that, you know, somebody may have flagged one of my videos or that stream for cyberbullying and harassment. And maybe the AI just automatically took it down, or who knows, right? But they corrected it right away. There was another channel that got a community guideline strike that I follow called Strong Successful Male. It's a guy that does, you know, something similar as I do, but he doesn't consider himself a coach. He caters his content to men and shares stories to help men. And he got a community guideline strike like 3 days ago, and then he ended up appealing it, and he won. And his content does not violate the guidelines. This guy doesn't even swear in his videos. He uses, like, he won't even say, like some people think if they say COVID in their videos, they're going to get demonetized. No. It may flag a human reviewer, but then the human reviewer is going to go to that section where you said COVID and see what were you talking about. All I said was, you know, other, you know, creators are afraid to even say COVID, so they call it like the coof or something, right? And the truth of the matter is it doesn't affect your video or your monetization unless you're spreading misinformation about it, right? So this guy got his video reinstated. And, you know, it happens sometimes. Sometimes, you know, these companies run bots to manage the large amount of videos and content being shared. Without the bots, these companies couldn't run, right? And the bots, for the most part, will get it right, but sometimes they don't. And then they notify a human reviewer, or they give you a chance to appeal, and then, okay, yeah, we're sorry, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. After another look, we've determined that your video does not violate any community guidelines. We apologize for this inconvenience. Sometimes we make mistakes, right? It happens, right? That's all part of the game. That's all part of what you have to deal with when you're putting out content nowadays on social media. Just my opinion there. All it is a mild flu. Well, that's your opinion. It's not mine. It's not mine, you know. But that's just your opinion. To me, I firmly believe it's everything that the mainstream media is saying. It is something that is very serious. But that's my opinion about it, right? You have yours, I have mine, right? But if you share it in the form of an opinion, you're less likely to be removed. If you state that as a fact, they could remove you for misinformation. They probably would. So, anyway, there's a gentleman taking pictures on the right over there. I'm going to move over here. Got some people coming behind me. We're going to get to the topic here in just a minute here, folks. I'm going to be sharing my opinion about the dating game nowadays for men. I've been seeing more and more Reddit postings regarding men, and it's just been crazy what I've been seeing. So I've got to keep moving. There's a radio right here. Give me a second, folks. All right. So, there's a gentleman taking pictures over there with his nice camera. I should do that with my nice camera, my Sony a6400, one of these days. But he had a radio cranked up really loud, like a news station. I mean, if you're gonna be out on a trail like this where people want peace and quiet, you gotta wear headsets, wear a headphone. Or wear headphones, I mean. For me, even when I'm doing my streams, when I walk past people, I kind of tone it down for a little bit, or I just stay quiet for a little bit. I try to be as respectful as possible. There's my buddy up there, the older man that walks with his shirt off every day on this trail. That guy's like in his 60s or 70s, and he looks good for his age. I'll say hi to him in a second. Hi. Awesome. Yeah, that dude is definitely at least in his 70s. He's carrying weights. He's got his shirt off. And he's like jogging on the trail. Wow. I hope when I'm 70 I can still do that. Damn. Anyway. Yeah, Queen, so I'll help you out behind the scenes. Probably Friday is going to be a good day to do that if you're around, Queen. I'm going to be coming back tomorrow night late. And then Thursday, I'm going to start creating my content, my pre-recorded content I've been talking about, where I'm going to be running it elsewhere from this channel. And I will have that other platform all set by that point. And I will let you folks know about that. But Friday will be a good day if you want to have a private chat. If any of the mods want to have a private chat on Facebook by phone on Friday morning, maybe around 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 12 noon or 1 p.m. Eastern, let me know in that private chat and we'll make it happen on Friday. I'm going to pull up the site here and let some people pass. And we're going to get to the topic here right when I get back on the trail. So let's get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from the SF Bay Trail, San Francisco Bay Trail here in beautiful, amazing, glorious Redwood City, California. This is episode number 158. And the topic today is, I know Queen put it out there, guys, the dating game is like going fishing. How to get a good girlfriend. One more time, the topic is, guys, the dating game is like going fishing. How to get a good girlfriend. So, I inspired myself to do this topic today because I was on Reddit earlier this morning and I was just reading more of these really, really, really sad stories and pathetic stories that guys and even women put out there every now and then, but more so it's guys that are posting this because guys are struggling to attract women nowadays or to find a good woman. And, you know, because I'm almost 48 years old and I was their age once, and I don't think I was as bad as these guys are nowadays because I had probably a better upbringing than they did, right? But, you know, I've really learned how to handle these situations, and I've really learned what works and doesn't work. I've also learned that sometimes you can do everything right when it comes to trying to attract a particular woman, and it just may not be good enough for her. Sometimes in life you can do everything right regarding everything, and it may not work out. Just because you do everything right regarding any aspect of life doesn't mean it's always going to pan out. That's why I say it is what it is, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? I really want you guys out there to understand this phrase. Let it sink in. If it's meant to be, it will be. There's nothing you can say or do to change that. Okay? So why do I say, guys, dating is like a game? Sorry, guys, the dating game is like fishing. It's like going fishing, right? Because it actually is. Even more so in the modern world today where we even have an app called Plenty of Fish, which now sucks. I don't recommend it. If you really want to find some good quality women, Match.com, eHarmony, maybe Bumble and Hinge. But here's the thing. Any of those swipe left and swipe right apps are really more so hookup apps, even if they say they're not. Because unlike Match.com and eHarmony that allow you to write full detailed profiles to give someone an idea of what you're like besides your look or your looks. And so you can also read their profiles, get an idea of what they're like. These apps only have a small section where you can write certain things in, right? So when you go on apps like swipe left and swipe right apps, it's all about physical attraction. And even though it's all about physical attraction regardless, even if you're looking for something serious, on the swipe left and swipe right apps, it's about the hookup culture. And, you know, unless you've got really, really, really good game and you're, you know, a very attractive man, an 8, 9, or a 10, you're going to have very little to zero luck on those apps. But it doesn't mean if you're an average guy that you're not going to have luck on other dating apps or sites like Match.com. You know, maybe possibly even OkCupid might be okay because you can write a profile there. eHarmony etc., right? OkCupid, eHarmony, and Match.com. And in order of preference, if I had to choose at this point, which I don't, because I found someone and we're hanging out tonight. We've been hanging out for over a month. In order of preference, I would say Match.com is the best. I thought down the road earlier, months ago, that Hinge was going to overtake Match, but they're not, in my opinion. Match.com is the best if you're looking for a serious relationship, right? Something genuine. Followed by, I'm going to say OkCupid second because eHarmony has this really weird communication process where you don't start messaging until you get to open communication, which you have to go through these 4 steps and answer some questions and stuff like that, right? So I'll put eHarmony third, Match.com number 1, OkCupid number 2, and eHarmony number 3. If you're looking for a serious relationship. If you're looking to just hook up and have flings and stuff like that, you can find that on any site. But these are guys in the forums that wouldn't even take the time to post what am I doing wrong unless they were looking for something more long-term, right? Now, maybe some of them want to try to better their game, but typically guys that don't have luck with women or struggle to get a woman, right, or keep her around, are guys that want something genuine. The guys that are looking for hookups, they have game, and they can woo women into these one-night stands, right, or hookups, right? The guys that post are typically guys that want something genuine, right? And so it's just been very interesting what I've been reading out, in these forums, right? A lot of guys, like there was this one guy, I gotta share this. I'll probably do an in-studio pre-recorded video on this, on the new platform I put that content on at some point. And it was actually a woman posting this. I've been talking with this one guy online, and he's cute. He's good looking. He communicates well, and he started complimenting me on my looks. He said I look kind of sporty, and I told him that I don't really play a lot of sports, but I do walk every now and then or do some running every now and then. Right? and then he ended up telling her, and she put this out there, he ended up telling her, because, I guess some of her pictures didn't show her backside, right? And I don't expect a woman to show her backside, on pictures, right? Because women that show their backside on pictures, oh, wow. This plane is flying really fucking low. It had to even gain altitude so it wouldn't land, it wouldn't get too low too quick. I mean, that plane literally almost looked like it was going to crash in that water right there. I backed off because I'm like, Jesus Christ, if something happens, I don't want to be in that path. Well, I was probably close enough anyway, but I'm like, holy Moses, man. I'm always around, says Queen. All right, cool. So, getting back to the story, like I was saying, women that show their backside, especially on a site like Match.com, OkCupid, or eHarmony, which I consider more sites that are looking for something more long-term. Why would a woman that wants something serious feel the need to give a booty shot, right? booty shots are for hookup sites. Yeah, you got a juicy booty, right? Right? I mean, and what man doesn't like a little bit of a juicy booty? Let's be real. Even us good dudes that want the real thing, right? With a woman. The pilot knows what he's doing. Apparently so, Queen. The plane landed safely, and everything is all good. But I'm very aware of my surroundings, Queen. So you can never be too careful, right? It looks like there are a few people on the observation deck. I hope they come down by the time I get over there. I'm still about maybe a little less than a half mile from it. So this woman says, this guy then asked me, or he told me, he goes, I bet you have a juicy ass. Come on, man. Why would you? Jesus Christ, dude. Look, again, let's be real. What guy doesn't like a little bit of a juicy ass, right? Even myself. I'm a good dude, right? And, I want the real thing. And I think I have that with this woman now. But even though, I like, or I want the real thing, sure. I like a juicy ass too. But, dude, you don't ask that during the communication process before even getting her number or having a phone conversation, and you don't even talk about it at that point. I'll share with you guys on the way back from the observation deck heading out what the right way to handle it is. And we're going to talk more about, why, the dating game is just like going fishing, guys. If you treat the dating game just like you do when you go fishing, you're going to have a lot more success, and I'll share why. It's a great analogy there. But yeah, guys, you cannot refer to anything sexual right away. And in my opinion, when you're getting to know a woman, you never refer to anything sexual until you know she's sexually interested in you, right? Just be a cool, down-to-earth guy. Every woman is on guard for guys, to talk about sex too soon. They're guarded by that. And if you talk about it too soon, you're going to be known as a creeper. Or a guy that's just looking for a hookup, right? And if these women are looking for something real, even women that may be looking for hookups are going to even test you at first. They're looking to see how thirsty are you, because if you're such a thirsty beta male, right, like, it's a big turnoff because it's no challenge. You got to be cool when you're talking with women. You cannot be attached to any particular outcome. You just got to have a conversation, and if it feels right, you're going to know. And on my way back, I will share more on how you're going to know 100% if the woman is into you or not. It's kind of material I've shared before, but I'm going to share it in a different way here today to try to get as many of you guys that are struggling with women to understand when a woman is truly into you and what it actually takes for a woman to be really into you. And quite frankly, it's really primarily out of your control to a certain extent. I'll share more about that on the way back. I may have to take a potty break on the way back too. Pardon me. So yeah, there are a couple people that have just been kicking back on the observation deck. I'm probably not going to go up there today. I only like to go up there when I have it all to myself because I am live on the air and I want to respect other people's privacy and not interrupt them. Yeah, I look forward to going out to a nice dinner tonight. I'm sure you are too, ma'am, if you're listening. If you're listening there and you're with your mother, say hello to your mother. Hello, ma'am. I'm still very polite. I'm a grown-ass man. Anyway, I'm just going to come and hang out right by the corner over there. The people coming behind me are probably going to go up. I'm going to wait and see if everyone leaves, and maybe I can go up if people go up there and then they just all leave. That's actually my favorite spot, that observation deck. It's my favorite spot. Being high up there, looking at the beautiful water. Doesn't get any better than that. So, that man and his woman, they just kind of turned around right here on this spot here. This is like the circular turnaround. It's there because people turn around, or mountain bikes turn around. Or you can come up to the observation deck. But it seems like those people up there are going to be staying up there for a while. It's not a bad spot to just kick back up there. I would kick back up there for an hour or two if I had the time to do it. That's just too much time for me to give up at this point in my business and my personal life. I have too many things going on. I'm going to sit here for a second. Oh, now they're coming down. So I'll probably be able to go up there, and there's nobody near coming towards this observation deck on the other side. But apparently, I guess those alarms were turned off. Give me a second, folks. You know, when you have like a selfie stick and a camera, like nobody bothers you. Like typically they would say hi, and so would I. But people are very respectful out here, especially people with when they see people with cameras. Lots of people come out to the wetlands all over the Bay Area and take pictures. I remember the wetlands when I used to, date one of my ex-girlfriends in the North Bay. In the North Bay, they have the SF Bay Trail there as well. And the wetlands over there, you think this is majestic? Go to the North Bay in Marin County, and this is nothing compared to the wetlands and how beautiful they are over there. I mean, this is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. But Marin County, there really is like no other place like it on the planet. It's probably the most expensive place to live in the entire country, followed number 2 by where I live, San Mateo County, and then Santa Clara County. It's because of all this, and the weather, and the jobs. Can't complain. Anyway, let's go up to the observation deck now that we have it all to ourselves. And then on the way back, I'm going to share with you guys, and ladies, you can learn from this too, but you ladies pretty much already know what repels you about men and what doesn't, right? And that's what I want to get you guys to understand, right? Don't be like that guy that's communicating with a woman and asking her, oh, yeah, you look athletic, like, I bet you have a juicy ass. I mean, dude, you don't ask that, dude, not at this point, right? Now, if you meet up with a woman on a first date and she's enamored by you and she gives you the glistening eyes and you start making out and there's physical attraction, at that point, maybe you go grab that juicy booty, right? Because she's going to want you to, because she's into you, right? Once the woman's into you, that's when you start talking about these things, guys. Not when you first start to talk with them online, right? Or see them for the first time. Let's say you meet them offline, right? Come on, guys. If you want the juicy booty, you can't talk with her about it. Oh, I bet you have a juicy booty. I wish you would share a picture of that, on your dating profile. Jesus Christ. And you have to also take into consideration that, these guys that talk like that are probably talking to a lot of women. And maybe this dude was talking to 2 or 3 other women that he was having a better conversation with and were more physically attractive, and he didn't really care about the outcome with this one. Some women, you could ask that question and they'll answer it and you can get away with it, but with most women you can't. It's like playing Russian roulette. Like I wouldn't go there. If I'm somebody trying to find a good woman and I'm chatting with one, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't even talk about sex or anything until you've established that she's really into you, she's sexually attracted to you, and she likes who you are, and she's enamored by you. And I'm going to share more about that on my way back. It's probably around 2:45 Pacific right now, 5:45 Eastern. Just going to hang out up here for a few and head back. I'm not going to be going to the other side today because I got to get home and start getting ready and head out by about 6 o'clock or so, 6 or 6:30. All right, let's head on back. So let's talk about, why the dating game is like going fishing, guys. And why you guys should treat it that way. What happens when, most of us guys have gone fishing at one point or another. It's been a while since I've gone fishing. But at one point or another, every man has gone fishing with maybe their father or some friends, right? Or even by yourself, at times, right? And I will tell you, going fishing by yourself is actually the best. You know why? Because you have peace and quiet. Let's take, for example, a guy that goes fishing by himself, right? First of all, you definitely want to be fishing in an area where it's legal, right? Whether it's a lake or, whatever body of water it is, right? So let's say you're out there by the water. It's peaceful. It's quiet, right? And you go out there and you prepare everything, you put on your bait, and you cast your reel, right? Okay. It's the same way with the dating world, especially online dating, right? Okay, dating in the modern world, the dating game. I call it the dating game, but I don't really look at it as a game, but we're going to refer to it as a game because that's what people understand, right? But I'm not saying it in a way to be demeaning. Even for guys that want something real and genuine, have to have some game, right? The right game for the right reasons, right? And so you go out and cast your fishing pole, right? You have your bait on there, right? It's peaceful, it's quiet, right? And you go out there hoping that you catch a fish or two, but not expecting it, right? You go out there because you just enjoy fishing. You enjoy nature. You enjoy the body of water around you, lake, ocean, wherever you're fishing, right? Okay? And you're cool, and you're calm, and you're collective, right? You're in a relaxed and peaceful state. Let me repeat that one more time, guys. You're in a relaxed and peaceful state, right? Let me tell you guys when you have your best chance of attracting a woman. It's when you're in a relaxed and peaceful state, right? Now, there are going to be days that you fish and you catch a couple fish, right? There can be other days where you catch no fish, right? Whether you catch a fish or two on any given day or catch none, you enjoyed your time out there. You know, it was, you put yourself out there, you tried to catch fish, and at the very least, you breathed in the fresh air and let those in. Am I back? I went off the air for a second. It asked me to reconnect. That's been weird lately. I've been getting disconnected every now and then out here. I should be back. Queen, if you're still around, how long was I off the air for? Just about a couple of seconds or so? Curious to know. So just because you catch a couple of fish on any given day doesn't mean the quality of those fish is good. You got to inspect the fish. You're probably in a bad area. Well, this is typically a good area. I mean, I've gone many streams out here without losing connection. The connection once. It's just sometimes the atmospheric conditions or too many people using the cell tower, it can affect it. But was I only off the air for like about a couple of seconds, Queen? It was pretty quick, right? I wasn't off the air for that long, right? So yeah, like I said, even if you catch a couple of fish, doesn't mean that the fish you catch are edible. Doesn't mean that they're safe to eat. You got to inspect the fish. You got to gut the fish. You got to make sure that they're good fish, right? Queen says yes. Thank you, Queen. It's the same thing with dating. Just because you connect with women through an online dating app doesn't mean that it was meant to be, right? And to you guys out there that go fishing and love fishing, you go fishing often, right? Because you love getting out there and trying to catch fish. For the fact alone that you just enjoy trying to catch fish and you like being out there by the water and being out in nature, maybe being out there by yourself and getting some time away from the craziness of life. Even if you're married or have a girlfriend and have a family, etc., right? Even just being able to step away for a half an hour every so often to go fishing is like your escape from everything. Doesn't mean that you're abandoning your family or your kids or anything. It means that you're going out there to just recharge, right? Okay? So again, yeah, the quality of those fish may not be great. Just like the quality of many of your connections on a dating app or a dating site are not going to be that great. Or it's not even that, they're just not going to be the right fit. Because let me tell you guys and gals, from my past experience, I've kind of shared this before, I'll share it again. Okay, repetition is the mother of skill. Attraction is a must. It is not a choice, right? And I will tell you, in every relationship that I've had, and the ones I've had over the last 20 years have been from online dating because that's the way the world's gone, right? Every relationship that's actually worked with a woman I've met from online took off like a rocket from the very beginning. And let me explain that. Women have to feel a large rush or spark of sexual attraction. I say this quite often, but that's what it is. I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. Women need to feel a large rush or spark of sexual attraction the moment that they come across your profile picture of the dating site or dating app. Then they click in more, they see all your other pictures, and they have to continue feeling that large rush or spark of sexual attraction. They have to practically visualize themselves being intimate with you, or you have no chance. Period. End of story. Right? So how can you tell when a woman feels that way about you? Because that doesn't happen all the time. It happens very rarely. Give me a second here. Wow. I think that's the same plane that was flying the other day with the lights. That's a beaut. Wow. Yeah, that's the same plane that was here, I think, yesterday. And maybe going back and forth from the Central Coast or Central Valley or Southern California for early morning business. Anyway. So here's the thing. How can you guys tell if a woman has that large rush or spark of sexual attraction? It's pretty simple. Women that are into you are going to make a ton of effort to try to get your attention. They're going to basically do the things that if you did those things, you'd repel all women. If you, let's say you're on Match.com, right? And you send 5 or 10 women a message, right? And you get a couple of them that get back to you and say, hey, you seem pretty cool, Eli. Let's get to know each other. I've got this and that going on. Maybe we can talk here or there, right? When you get those kind of responses, it could go either way, right? But if hello, Maria, how are you doing? Queen, let Maria stay. I want to find out, Maria, how did you find out about this channel? Well, Queen unbanned you. Maria, how did you find out about this channel? Because you had to wait 24 hours to chat here. Queen, go ahead and ban Maria. That's a stupid question. Can you tell me why you're walking all the time? Because I enjoy it and I want to stay healthy and fit. Have a nice day. It's the same damn troll that just can't get enough. He's pathetic. But anyway. So, and they have to wait 24 hours to chat now, Queen. That's just, it's just hilarious. Even the little bit of attention I just gave him gives him a Woody, Queen. It's just funny. Anyway, so I mentioned, okay, so you send 10 messages, let's say on Match.com, two women get back to you and they say, yeah, you seem cool. I'd like to get to know you. I'm busy here and there, blah, 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 whatever, right? If those women were really attracted to you, they would drop everything to talk with you. They would say, I'm busy at the moment, but I'll be free later tonight. Here's my number, right? That's what you want to look for. Then let's say you get another message that goes like this. Hey, Eli. I'm using myself for example purposes, even though I've already got someone. Hey, Eli. Wow, your profile's unlike anything I've ever seen. You're really a straight shooter. You know what you want. I like your pictures too. You take care of yourself. I would love to get to know you. Where do we go from here? And that's where I would come in and say, well, thank you. I appreciate your response. I'd be humble about it, but still confident. I appreciate your response. You seem like a pretty cool person too. How about we talk by phone and see how that feels and go from there? So a woman that responds to you in that way, is going to have a pretty good amount of sexual attraction towards you, right? That's a small little tiny green and white plane. That thing is hauling ass. That's a rebel. That's not even slowing it down. That's going to be one of those screeching stops at the runway. That thing is still going quick. But it's a smaller plane, so there's less weight. So it needs less of a braking distance. I still would be more cautious with a smaller plane, especially a smaller plane, but you need less braking distance for a smaller plane because it weighs less and it's smaller. So you can technically hit the runway a little faster and then almost kind of like slam your brakes, which is not really something you're supposed to do. I mean, you're supposed to, gradually stop so you don't flip the plane, but you need less braking distance. Anyway, we're not here to talk about plane. I'm not a plane expert. It's just I understand how things work. So, at that point, she'll get back to you. If she's really interested, she'll give you her number. And if she's really feeling it, she'll want to talk with you that same night. So, she gives you her number, you text her, hey, it's blah, blah, blah from Match or wherever, right? Hey, it's great to connect with you off the app. When are you free to talk by phone so we can get to know each other on a more personable level? Well, I'm free right now, or I'm free later this evening if you are. And if you get a woman like that, that's a woman that has a high level of interest, right? So at this point right now, the chances of her being super duper sexually and physically attracted to you are pretty good. It's still not completely there. So how do you find out? At what point do you really find out? It's when you get to the phone conversation. When you get to the phone conversation, a woman that's really into you and is physically attracted to you with a high level, has a large rush or spark of physical attraction, is going to pretty much be an open book, and she's not going to be upset regardless of what you talk about. You can talk about feminism with a woman like this, and because she's so into you, it's not going to offend her, right? And I don't talk about feminism in an offensive way either, but some women just get offended when any man says the word feminist, right? So if you get to the phone call, and especially if that phone call goes more than an hour, if it goes 2 hours, right? And you're asking a lot of questions, and you're talking about things that would probably offend most women, even though they shouldn't, and this woman's not offended by it, that's when you know she's totally into you, right? And then at that point, towards the end of the conversation, if you're at that point, you've had a great 2-hour phone conversation, you're at this point right now with this type of woman, and you can kind of tell she's really into you. She thinks you're a good-looking guy. She likes your personality. She's complimented you on how well you carry yourself and how well you speak, because that's what women will do, right? Listen to what a woman says, right? At that point, what I would do is I would give one more test as a man. I would say, how important is romance and intimacy to you in a relationship with the right guy? It's a pretty straightforward question. And when asked in the way I just stated, how important is romance and intimacy to you in a relationship with the right man, right? And you're asking it in a pretty subtle type of way, right? Now, a woman that's not totally into you, or a woman that's guarded about, intimacy and moving forward in the relationship, is going to say, I don't feel comfortable talking about that. A woman that's into you is going to say, it's absolutely, completely important. And if you get that woman in that conversation to say that, and maybe they might ask you back, well, how important is romance and intimacy to you, Eli? At that point, be honest. I'd say, you know what? It's not everything, but it's a part of the relationship that needs to be there. The mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical, all four of those aspects need to be there. And I'll tell them, I'll tell them in the past, okay? I'll tell them in the past that, I can have, the mental, I could be physically attracted to a woman, and she could be physically attracted to me. But if the mental, emotional, and spiritual also aren't there, I won't even give her a chance myself as a man. So the way I say it is this, is that, yeah, it is important, but it's one of four key main aspects that need to be there for the overall relationship to work. Because I say, look, I'm not looking for just a hookup, I'm looking for something long-term, right? And when you respond in that way, see, when women ask you how important, even if you ask them first that point, and they responded to you saying, yeah, intimacy, it's very important. How important is it to you, Eli? Even at that point, even though they've answered you, they ask you back and they're still testing you. You're still on the test. You're still being tested, right? You're being shit tested, right? And quite frankly, whether I'm being shit tested or not in those situations, right, or have been in the past, how I honestly feel about it is what I said. It is important. But so is the mental connection, the mentally stimulating conversations, the emotional bond, and the spiritual connection. Because if I emotionally bond with a woman and really care about her more than just intimacy, sex, whatever you want to call it, the intimacy and the sex will be constant, ongoing, and it'll be amazing. It'll be natural. It'll feel real, which is the best feeling you want. And then typically you respond that way. At this point, the woman will say, wow, I've never met anyone like you. And maybe I'll say, yeah, you seem pretty interesting yourself too. You seem different and unique, And then you kind of maybe wait to see if she suggests meeting up. And if she doesn't, she may be waiting for you because she wants you to make the move, right? Some women will say at that point, where do we go from here? Or when can we meet, right? Or they might just pause for a second, and that's your cue to step in there as a man and identify she wants you to ask her out. She wants to meet up with you, right? And if she doesn't say anything, you say, hey, well, seems like we get along quite well. I'm really enjoying this going so far, It seems like you feel the same way. You want to hang out sometime over the next day or two, and that's what you want to do. You want to say over the next day or two, or the next day you're available, right? And a woman that's into you is going to find a way to meet up with you within the next few days. Because if it doesn't happen within the next few days or by the end of the week at the latest, it's going to fizzle off. When the stove is burning hot, that's when you got to strike. And then you got to keep the fire burning, right? Things fizzle out much faster nowadays because a lot of people play games. And even if you're not playing games, if you take too long to meet a woman after something great happens like this, they're going to assume that you lost interest even if you haven't. So you've got to strike when the iron is hot. And another thing, you know, if she agrees to go on a date, maybe she might suggest something. Yeah, maybe we can go for coffee or something like that, right? And in my head, I'm like, screw coffee. No, that's boring. Maybe we can go for coffee, in the middle of the day or something. Never meet a woman for the first time during the middle of the day. If a woman wants to meet you, if a woman's not willing to meet you in the evening when it's darker, that means she's not interested in you. Because if you meet during the day, there's no chance for any intimacy or kiss or anything to happen, right? And when you first meet up, you're looking to see if that large spark or rush of sexual attraction is there between the both of you, right? Right? If it's meant to be, she's gonna want you as much as you want her, right? So if you've had a great conversation like this example I've given here with a woman, and then she wants to meet, but then she wants to meet you for coffee in the middle of the day, you got to kind of subtly turn that around into saying, well, I work during the days, and my weekends, I spend doing hiking and stuff like that. I mean, if we get to the point of weekends, we can definitely hang out during the days, but the best time for me to meet is in the early evening. Are you open to that? I could come to your area and we can just go for a walk around the neighborhood or whatever, right? There are things you can do, but you never ever want to meet a woman where you feel there's a mutual high level of interest and sexual attraction during the day. You're going to ruin it. It's not going to go anywhere. You want to put the both of you in the most romantic setting possible. If she's not willing to go to that romantic setting with you and meet you in the evening, it just means she's not really feeling it for you. Right? Now, some of you women might say, and guys might say, well, doesn't the woman have to feel comfortable? Don't us ladies have to be careful? I mean, there are a lot of crazy guys out there. Sure, there are. But women are very intuitive. And myself as a man happens to be one of the few intuitive men out there. And women will use their intuition and their instinct, and they can tell when it's more than likely safe to be with a guy after like one phone conversation. They can tell. Now, does that mean there aren't some manipulating guys out there that can fool a woman? When it comes to that, sure. But most of the time, it doesn't happen that way, right? And the truth of the matter is, for both men and even women, if you actually want something to happen, you've got to take your best chance. So, you end up meeting the woman in the evening, depending on where you're at. Maybe you're going for a walk along the beach. That's a romantic setting. Maybe taking a walk at the park. It's early evening. The sun's just gone down. It's not totally dark yet, but it's almost dark, right? That's the setting you want to be in, right? After that walk, if it's all good, and maybe you're holding hands or she's kind of, rubbed your shoulders to give you an idea that she's into you, maybe at that point, maybe you might want to grab a couple drinks or maybe grab some dinner or something. If it gets to the dinner, it's all good. Okay, if you're closer to her area, you might end up back at her place, or if you're closer to your area, she might end up back at your place. And then let nature take its course. And there you go. That's all it takes. But for you guys out there that are coming out on dating sites, and you're saying the dumbest things, right? Or you're waiting for the woman to make the move, right? You're not going to get anywhere. You got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there, and you can't just go on a site like Match.com and message only one or two women. You got to message a ton of women. You got to take your time and go through those profiles. And after you message a ton of women, and make sure that you're not just clicking on anyone, right? You want to read their profile. You want to get a good idea of who they are, right? But then you're going to start getting some messages after that. Again, it's like fishing, like I said earlier. Okay? The online dating apps are like going fishing for you guys. Some days you're going to catch some fish, and other days you're going to catch none. Some days you're going to get messages back from women, some days you're not. And even if you get messages from some women, just like at times you're going to catch some fish, they might not be healthy fish. They might be infested fish, right? You got to learn how to identify, which of the fish are the ones that are healthy and in a good place to invest your time to get to know them, that are going to be the best possible shot of having something real. That's what it all boils down to. It's pretty simple. It sounds simple, but trust me, understanding this at the level that I understand it, it's taken me until my 40s to get it. I didn't really start to maybe in my 30s, I kind of did a little bit in my mid to late 30s, but by the time I got into my early 40s, I had a really, really, really good understanding of how attraction works. And how these dating apps and dating sites work. Attraction is either completely there or it isn't from the moment that you look at each other's profile pictures. And by the way, if you catfish someone, the chemistry will not be there when they meet you. You got to look like your pictures are pretty close to your pictures. Look, people can take some pictures that are a month or two old and maybe gain 2 pounds or lose 2 pounds, right? So that's what I mean, If you gain 2 pounds or lose 2 pounds and you have pictures that are 2 months old, you don't have to go and change those pictures. You're pretty much going to look the same, right? What I'm talking about is if, you go out there and you use pictures that are 10 years old when you were lean and fit, right? And 10 years younger, like when you were 35 and now you're 45, you're 100 pounds overweight, you've got this big super gut, your hair's thinning and all that, right? Do you think that the attraction will still be there when the woman meets you after seeing what you looked like 10 years ago because you catfished her? It's not going to be there. Like I said, the most important thing, I hate to say it, is there a large spark or rush of physical attraction for both the man and the woman when they first lay eyes on each other's profiles? And when these people meet in person, do they look the same or pretty close to the same, right? And did you talk on the phone? And was it an easygoing conversation? Was the woman you were talking with open to talking about anything and everything? I've said this before and I'll say it again. There have been times in the past where women would come out and say, what is this, 20 questions? What is this, an interview? And the moment that they say that is the moment I eliminate them because they're trying to hide something. Because women are very intuitive and they can pick up when you're trying to find something out about them that they don't want you to know because they know you're going to eliminate them regardless if you find out, right? So in essence, when you're trying to find out some things to see if they're a good woman to even go on a first date with, right? And they come out and say, what is this, 20 questions? What is this, an interview? I'll just say, well, I'm just trying to get to know you. I'm looking to see, learn more about you to see if we're the right fit for each other. well, I think you're asking just too many questions. Can we kind of chill? Like, um, at that point, like my jaw would drop when I was in those conversations in the past. And it got to the point of where I would just end up most of the time just hanging up on those women and blocking them. Initially I would give an explanation, but after a while of going through that over and over again, back in the days when I was single, throughout my 40s, in between relationships, I just, whenever a woman would say, what is this, a job in here? What is this, an interview? What is this, 20 questions? I just hang up and I block them. Yeah, I call it ghosting. If a woman's really into you, she's going to allow you to ask any question. Reasonable question, right? Don't talk about sex until she brings it up first. And even if she does bring it up, talk about it in a respectful and mature way. Don't talk about it like you're some sick puppy dog, right? Don't try to be this macho man. Now, like with this woman I'm with right now, we've been together for over a month. So do I talk a little shit with her every now and then? Sure, but we know each other and we know we're just kind of messing around, right? Had I talked like this with her before I met her, she wouldn't have met me. She would have thought I was some creeper, right? I'm a cool dude that likes to flirt with the woman I'm with, right? But before you get to that level, you have to show her and prove to her that you're a safe guy to be around. You're a safe guy to be around, and she feels comfortable around you. Once you have her comfort, then hey, it's all good. Do what you got to do. Oh, what a beautiful day. Oh my gosh. That was a bee. These bees really, really love. Sorry. I was looking up at the sun, and these bees love the sun, and it was probably reflecting off my phone. Let me see what time it is. It's 3:01. You know what? I still have a little bit of time. I may even have time to go to the other side. I think I may just go to the other side and get a little more exercise in, because I don't have to leave my place until 6. And I'll be running to be by about 6:30 or 6:40. So I want to get another half a mile in right now. I'd say it's about maybe a little more than a quarter mile from the entrance point to go out to the other side one way. So it's a little over half a mile going out and back the other side. Dude walking on the roof and cleaning the shingles, or not the shingles, the tiles. Those are tile. That's the tile roof. The tiles on the roof. I hope that dude has some kind of restraint belt on. He is literally on the edge. Oh my gosh. That is a dangerous job. Dude, you're a real man, dude. You've got some balls. It takes balls of steel to do a job like that. Oh my God. I sure hope he has some kind of restraint on him. I mean, that's 3 stories plus the garage in the basement. That's 4 stories. you won't survive a fall like that. That's pretty insane. It's been a good amount of people coming out here on this trail lately. I've been meaning to change my location. I just haven't had the time. But we're going to go out. We're going to go out and enjoy the other side. Keep it here a little bit longer. Like I said, folks, I'm going to be out of town tonight, and for most of tomorrow. I'll be back late tomorrow night. So you're not going to get a stream from me tomorrow or any videos or anything. And then I'm going to take the rest of the night off and just relax. Maybe catch up on some Netflix or Amazon Prime Video. Get to bed a little early, and then on Thursday is when I'm going to start creating my new pre-recorded content. That will not be on this channel. It's going to be elsewhere. And depending on when I publish it, I will let you folks know. Also, to moderators out there, if you moderators want to do a live stream on Friday night on my channel here, a panel live stream, or a panel on your channel, I'm open to that. For the most part, on this channel here, for the time being, for quite a while, I'm only going to be doing these Walking with Purpose live streams. And if I get rained out, I'll probably do an in-studio stream in its place. But in addition to that, the only other times I'll be doing a stream from the studio, besides when I get rained out from these walks, is for a panel show. I want to start bringing you folks, some more interesting content. I want to what I really want to do is start doing what I used to do, is getting the opinions of others. And just having discussions, besides just sharing my thoughts and my opinions. And that's why I've been doing the Reddit thing a lot lately. And part of the reason why I haven't done a lot of live stream panels lately is because, the people I used to do them with are very, very unprofessional and disrespectful, and they violate the YouTube's terms of service, and I just don't want to risk my monetized channel getting hit. So I'm only bringing on, like I mentioned in the recent past, when I do panels on this channel here, my monetized channel on YouTube, they're only going to be with trusted, respectful people that I know are not going to blatantly violate the terms of service to try to get my channel shut down. It's really pathetic regarding those people that do that. It's just stupid. I've seen that happen in many communities on YouTube. YouTubers attacking other YouTubers, going onto their channels and porn bombing them, and then flagging them for pornography, which will shut down your channel right away. I mean, what kind of grown-ass people do that kind of stuff, Like, you've got to really hate yourself and hate your life to want to do that to somebody, right? I know some of them are probably listening right now that have done this, and it's pretty sad, It's just sad. Just showing you folks. Instead of showing me right now, I'm just showing you what I'm seeing. Whenever I walk down this side of the path, I love looking at the water, just like I'll put the camera right in front of my face, and this is exactly what I see at the angle I see it. Yeah, Queen, the last message you put out there, it's hilarious. You were talking about the troll earlier that, is subscribing from new accounts and having to wait 24 hours to say hi and then get banned and ask a stupid question like, why do you walk so much? I never thought that walking so much was a crime or was harmful to any human being. I think, Queen, they're just projecting because they wish they had the capabilities or the desire to walk as much as I do and to be as healthy and fit and happy about themselves as I am about myself, right? And so this is the truth, right? But you share the truth with people like that are just not in the best place mentally and emotionally, and then they get super triggered because you're speaking the truth, right? I'm not trying to trigger anyone. I even want these people to better their lives, but after many years, they still haven't changed. Who knows if they ever will? That's on them. I'm not going to stick around to find out. I got better things to do. Better places to be and better things to do, right? Just like you, Queen. Just like you. And you want to diversify, and I'm going to help you, Queen. And Friday morning, Queen, is when we're going to either we'll talk privately or we'll get a private group call going behind the scenes. Because, Queen, I think you and Lewis Fuller and anyone else that's going to be creating a lot of content, even off the platform, we got to talk, Queen, because look, I'm doing a lot more things off the platform too. So, Queen, here's the thing. Wherever you go, I'll go. And same thing with you, Lewis. Same thing with my other mods. Like, I respect all of you folks. And you can never diversify too much. Diversification is one of the best ways to grow. Queen says, I am here. I really wish American Dream would pop on so I can apologize to them again for accidentally timing them out the other day. I'm just going to sit here for a few. That other gentleman went up in the observation deck. I think he's on the phone. He's just kicking back. This is a great start to my day today. Just looking at this beautiful scenery here in the wetlands by the SF Bay. It's a nice day. I mean, it's probably closer to 70 degrees right now. The wind is probably 5 to 10 miles per hour. I'm not even wearing a jacket. I'll show you. I've got my nice kind of stretchy tank top shirt. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. I can't ask for any better weather. That's a great start to the day, and then later tonight, got a nice room booked, and going to be heading on further down south, and after we check in, going to have a nice steakhouse dinner, and then tomorrow we're going to head out and tour out and about in some areas I've been to before, and some areas surrounding those areas I've been to that I haven't been to, that this lady has been to. So, ma'am, you're going to show me some new things tomorrow in your neck of the woods, even though I've been there in the past. You're going to show me things that I've never seen. Is that a deal? Do we have a deal on that? I'm trying to make a deal with a woman. What the fuck am I thinking? The only thing better would be is if she's still with her mother and her mother heard me say that. She's probably laughing her ass off right now. Maybe they both are. You know, when mother and daughter get together, it's still like mother and daughter. It's still like two chicks getting together, right? Double trouble, right? It's all good. I just like to have a little bit of fun. Keeps us guys sane, right? And the only reason why us guys talk about women like that is because they're emotional beings. They respond to everything emotionally first, based on how they're feeling in the present moment. That's why a lot of things don't make a lot of sense, right? I really wish that guy would come down so I could go to the observation deck and enjoy some time up there. Yeah, I remember telling one of my exes years ago. You know, there are certain things that she would do, and I mean, she was a good woman. All the women I've been with have been good women. It just didn't work out, right? Right, there would be some times where some of the things that she would say during certain times. I mean, she was a very smart woman, but any woman, sometimes they'll say something that doesn't make any sense, and then they ask me to make sense out of it. And I told her at that point, I'm like, babe, how the fuck do you expect me to make sense of something that you can't even make sense of yourself? Babe, if you can't figure out, you know, what's going on deep within, how am I gonna figure that out? And I was laughing because I know women are emotional beings and they respond to everything, like I said, emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. Then they reason with logic later, right? And your job as the guy is to kind of bring that, understand the emotional side and give her a hug and make her feel everything's going to be okay and you understand. But then you kick in the logic and then she'll go, oh yeah, yeah. You were just having an emotional moment, babe. That's all it was. That's all it was. This guy doesn't take off in a few minutes. I'm just going to head back. I appreciate those that are still here. Go to Los Angeles to see all the ships at the ports that are not moving. So what's been really going on with that, Queen? Why are the ships not moving? What's been going on with that? All right, this dude is just standing up there for ages. So I'm just gonna come over here and turn around. But give me a second here. I gotta fix this. Excuse me. I want to tangle up my wire. All right. Lady coming with her dog. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. All right, folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns, and we're going to be going off the air in about 10 minutes or less. We are at, it says 99 minutes, so it's an hour and 39 minutes. About to turn an hour and 40 minutes right now. Just hit 100 minutes, an hour and 40 minutes. It's really weird on the app. It shows minutes and not hours and minutes. And when you broadcast from the studio using the live control room through YouTube Studio at the back end, it'll show you hours and minutes. So when you're live on the air and you want to mention a time marker, you have to convert it, because when you go even watch a live stream from mobile on the replay, it'll still show hours and minutes. Queen says, the truckers at the ports are waiting for a load to drive across the country, and they've been sitting at the ports for hours. Well, what's delaying everything from the norm, Queen? I don't understand what's delaying all this. And what's up with this coin shortage that I've been seeing too? Is that a hoax too, Queen? Because everywhere I've been going lately, they've been saying, coin shortage. Is it like due to COVID or something like that? Or do they just... I think maybe the government's trying to turn our world into a cashless society, which I don't think we could ever, get to that point, because there are always going to be like some places where you can't even get cell reception to take a credit card, right? Because you can process credit cards from your smartphones as long as you have, a 5G or 4G LTE connection, right? But those aren't always available. So some areas, you have to accept cash. People are walking up to jobs because of, okay. All right, so that's true. That's true. People are quitting the jobs. And it may be partially because of the mandates for the vaccine. But I also think people, want to get better jobs. And I'm not saying that the shipping industry, right, and the people that do truck driving or people that work at the warehouses don't have a good job. It's an okay job, but a lot of these people, like Amazon, for example, I've been seeing some Amazon commercials lately where Amazon helps their employees get into the career they want and will support them. And Amazon probably has a lot of turnaround, because typically the people that are going to work for Amazon, especially in the warehouses where they're receiving and they're, fulfilling, packages and stuff like that. In order to do that, you got to have these warehouses. The trucks will, get the merchandise from the ports. They'll bring it to the warehouse. They have Amazon employees unload it at the loading dock, and then they'll stock it, kind of like going to a Costco or Sam's Club. They'll stock it on steel shelves, right, on pallets, right? And then when they need to fulfill an order, they'll just go and grab the items from wherever they're at and fulfill them, right? Now, those jobs, they pay okay. They don't pay the most. They pay okay. I think Amazon employees make anywhere from, they make probably around $20 an hour, at least out here in this area. I don't know how much it is, probably less in areas where the cost of living is less, but it's not a job that you're going to do for the rest of your life. And also, Queen, I'm sure what happened as part of, all these people, quitting their jobs, I'm sure a lot of people took temporary jobs throughout COVID. Maybe some companies downsized and these people took temporary jobs. I don't think it all has to do with the vaccine mandates, but probably some of it does. But when it comes to the media, whether it's right-winged or left-wing, the right-wingers are going to say one thing about it, the left-wingers are going to say another thing about it, right? And then it becomes like this endless back and forth of us not being able to agree on anything, right? And instead of, this is what I want to say, instead of working together to find a solution for the future, we argue over who's right or wrong and why a certain thing happened. Okay, it happened. Let's solve the issue. Let's not waste time talking about why it happened. And let's not waste time saying whether the right or the left is right or wrong. Let's work together as a team and get this country back on track and get things moving again. The last thing we need are the ports to stop moving. There are a couple guys up there. You know what? Maybe they're tied up. I really hope those guys that are cleaning the gutters and the roofs and cleaning the tile, I really hope they have restraints. They probably wear some special shoes that give them really, really good traction too. This is a nice shot right here. The corner right before I exit. There's a gentleman walking in. I'm about to walk out. I'm going to wait and see if that couple with the baby stroller are coming on the trail. Let them pass. And then I will exit. There's a couple people coming. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in, folks. We'll be going off the air in about 5 minutes. People want medical freedom not to be forced. I understand that, Queen. I do. But I'll be honest with you. I don't foresee any better way that we would have been able to handle this than Biden did. Like, even if Trump was still in office, I mean, it's not an easy task for anyone to handle. I think what people need to more so look at, Queen, is that, you know, we're on the same. Here's the thing, Queen. The people that are anti-vax and the people that are for the vax, we're on the same page on one thing. And that one thing is, we don't want anyone to die. We want to save lives, right? So we're on the same page regarding that, right? So our heads and hearts are about protecting people from dying, right? But we have different methods of how we're each going about it, right? Give me a second here. This is a nice shot. Look at the ripples in the water. The sun is glistening right on the water right there. I'm going to wait for a few people to come on by before I go, but I want to show you this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that bird right there. The sun is shining right down on the water. This is, I could not ask for a more beautiful shot to end this show. All right, folks. Heading back to the car. Just a couple more minutes, folks. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Please get them in the chat. This is just absolutely, look at that. Look at it from this angle right here. The sun is just shining right on the water. It is glistening. Wow. I mean, I should turn this off right now and capture some footage in 4K at 60 frames per second. That looks stunning compared to the 720p 30 that these live streams do. And that's even if the reception's working fully. Like, what people don't realize is that even if you could do 4K on a live stream from mobile, you would still have to have enough bandwidth and a great connection to the point of where it would be clear. At some point down the road, maybe by the time we hit like 10G, 10G will be like the most rock solid connection that will never ever run out of bandwidth or never run out of signal strength. And it doesn't matter where you're at that point, we'll be able to stream at 4K from our phones, right? It would be cool to stream at 4K on mobile. But then you would definitely need to be on an unlimited data plan like I have, which now, AT&T and Verizon and most of the carriers, their top plans are truly unlimited data with no throttling. It used to be for the same plan I had unlimited data, but I had $100 of I had 100 gigs of premium data, which I haven't hit that ever in a month. But now it's just unlimited with no throttling, even better. I mean, I could literally stream every day for 30 days straight, and these streams literally are just under 2 gigabytes per stream. Even at 2 gigabytes, 30 streams, that's 60 gigabytes, right? Even with my other plan, well, before they changed it, even with my former plan, well, it's the same plan, I just changed it. With 100 gigs of premium data, I'd still have 40 gigs of premium data. You know how, when you're not streaming video, you know how hard it is to use 40 gigs of data on your phone? Video is where all the bandwidth is sucked up at. So yeah, before I wrap this up, Queen and everyone else, yeah, we all want to reach the same outcome. We want to protect people from dying. But we have a difference in how we want to get there. But again, I'll keep saying the numbers tell a story to me. Since we started getting vaccinated, the amount of deaths have gone down over 90 or 95%. I mean, that says something, right? Now, the conservatives are trying to say that, Colin Powell's death, was because he was vaccinated or something like. No, that's not true. I mean, people are going to say anything, right? To try to keep their narrative going, right? Colin Powell was 84 years old, and he had other complications. He had two other, I think he had cancer and something else. Queen, President Trump, or former President Trump, is one hell of an actor. And right now, what Trump is doing is drama marketing for 2024. Trump is a smart, I'll give it to him. Trump's a smart dude. I may not like the guy, but he's a smart guy. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to drama market. All Trump is doing right now is drama marketing. Trying to keep his name out there, right? So no one forgets him, right? It's half the battle, right? But yeah, as far as Colin Powell goes, I mean, he had other complications. He was 84 years old. My dad passed away at 76. God rest his soul. But, you've got right-wing media like Fox News and other right-wingers saying that it was because of the vaccine shot. No, it was not. I mean, who knows? It could have been a combination of all three, but he had pre-existing conditions. And he probably would have, this is just my opinion, clearly just my opinion, even if COVID never came out, Colin would have probably still passed away because of his other pre-existing conditions that he had. But anyway, it is what it is. Folks, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to be out for the rest of the night and tomorrow, and I will be back tomorrow late evening. If you want to reach out to me, if you're a moderator or somebody that I know and you need something, I have my phone with me and I'll be periodically checking my messages. And if it's something that needs an urgent response, I'll get back to you while I'm out. But if not, I will get back to you tomorrow night or Wednesday. Sorry, Thursday morning. And Thursday, I will be starting to create my pre-recorded content, primarily catered to men, but women, you can always watch that content too and learn. And then Friday, if my moderators want to do a live stream panel on my channel here or on any one of your channels, let me know. With that being said, we're going to wrap this up at 1 hour and 56 minutes. And it's almost 4 o'clock right now. So I've really got to get a move on it. All right. Have a good one, folks. Take care. Bye-bye. We're out.